Hi there, my name's Lawrence Akers. I'm from Release Hypnosis, and welcome to Themes from the Therapy Room. Now, in this particular episode, I want to have a bit of a chat about mindfulness. I can imagine now there's probably a few people listening to that last line and thinking, another bloody therapist going on about mindfulness. But you know what? It's got a bit of that credibility for a reason. And hear me out, because I think by the end of this, I'm hoping that I'll convince you to give it a try. Now, when I do work with clients and I ask them, have they tried mindfulness before? Quite often, one of the responses I get is along the lines of, I tried it once, but then I found that it was too hard. My mind kept wandering. And without trying to sound condescending, yes, that's the point of why we have a mindfulness practice. Your mind is going to try to trick you. It's going to try to hijack your thoughts. It's going to try to do all these things to really take you away from being present to this moment. And so mindfulness is really about how do we learn which distraction we are going to be distracted by. Are we going to be distracted by the monkey mind chatter that goes on in our head? Or are we going to be able to choose a distraction and to be able to focus in on that? So let's start with actually some of the benefits of mindfulness, why I believe mindfulness is important to practice. The first is that, of course, it brings us to this present moment. More often than not, a lot of the problems that people experience are caused by their mind being in the past. That's generally around depressive states and loss, or worry about the future, which generally tends to be anxiety. And so by getting people to be in this moment and recognizing that they're okay and they're safe can be a really good building block for a lot of the other work we do. The second reason why mindfulness is a benefit is because more often than not, what happens when we have our thoughts is that we hook into those thoughts and we accept them as reality and fact, whereas they're just thoughts. And with mindfulness, we can become more of an observer of our thoughts instead. We don't necessarily have to get hooked by them. We don't necessarily have to buy into them and give them power. By being the observer of our thoughts, we can take a step back and then use our values to guide our actions instead of the emotive reaction that might come from some of those uncomfortable thoughts and feelings that we hook into. The third reason will be around the fact that you go to the gym to build your body and to make it strong. And mindfulness is really about taking your mind to the gym. What distraction are you going to be distracted by? Are you going to be distracted by the thoughts that come into your mind that try to take you away from this present moment? Or are you going to be distracted by the breath? And we use the breath because no matter where you go, you'll always have your breath. And of course, I jokingly say that if you didn't have your breath anymore, then you probably don't have a need for mindfulness anymore either. Sometimes people laugh at that, sometimes they don't. I think I need to workshop that joke a little bit more if I'm being completely honest here. However, it is important to note that you don't have to focus on the breath. Some people get really bored by that. I personally like to have a mindfulness exercise where I'm listening to the sound of the ocean. And that really helps me to be present. There's lots of different ways. We can perhaps explore that in a future episode. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope I made you interested in mindfulness, and I will speak to you soon.